All right. Good day, class. I am Mr. Giancarlo de Mesa, your teacher for today, and we will be discussing the use of will and going to in sentences. So here we are. I want you to take a look at these sentences. Look at them real hard, nice and slow. Or maybe you want to look at it fast. So first, Daniel, can you read the first sentence?
I
Daniel?
will buy a house.
All right, thank you for that one. Lyra, how about you? Can you read the second one?
I am going to buy a house.
All right, thank you. So we have two sentences here that are almost similar. I will buy a house and I am going to buy a house. Now, can you notice anything that is different between these two sentences? How about the words? What did the first sentence use? Daniel, can you please tell me?
Will, sir.
Yes, the first sentence used will. Lyra, how about you? What words did we use for the second sentence?
I'm going to, sir.
Alright, very good. We used will and am going to. So these are two different words or praise for the second case that we use to denote something. Now, based on these sentences, were the actions already done when these sentences are written? Do you think that the actions are already concluded or are already underway based on these sentences? What do you think, Daniel? Daniel, do you think the
Sorry, sir. Can you
actions
please repeat the question?
are?
All right, sir.
When do you think do the actions signified in the sentences take place? Do they take place in the past,
Um,
the present,
can I
or?
answer, sir?
All right, Lyra, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. I've learned in my when I was in still elementary, those words will and going signifies uh tense in the future, sir.
Very good. These sentences denote future action, so that will be our lesson for today. Using will and going to denote future actions and various other purposes. So now that we know that these two words or praise for the second case are used for future actions, let us see how they are used differently. Although you may think they are similar given the similar structures presented earlier, they have some subtle differences that we will work out. So first, look at these sentences once again. Daniel, can you read these two sentences?
Yes, sir.
All right,
I will be a teacher someday, and I am going to be a teacher for sure.
all right, very good. Thank you. I will be a teacher someday, and I am going to be a teacher for sure. Now, based on these two sentences, do you think they are different in meaning?
Sir, I think they are different in
They are different in meaning. What words were different between the two sentences aside from will and going to? Can you tell me the words that are different? For example, the first sentence, which word is not found in the second sentence?
In the first sentence, sir, there is a word someday, while in the second sentence, there's a word for sure.
All right, very good, Lyra. Thank you. So in the first sentence, we have the word someday, while in the second sentence, we have the word for sure. Now, if you look at the sentences, there seems to be different levels of certainty. For the first one, someday, do you think that someday represents something that will happen immediately or happen right now as we speak?
No, sir.
Yes, it will happen someday, and I will be a teacher someday. It seems that The subject of the sentence is dreaming, alright?
Yes, sir.
Meanwhile, for the second one, we have the words. Daniel, can you find the words that aren't in the first sentence?
The second sentence use I am going to.
Going to end the words at the end. Can you read the last two words of the second sentence, please?
For sure. For
For
sure po.
sure. Now, if we hear the words for sure, we imagine something that is quite certain, that is quite definite. Don't you think?
Yes, sir.
Now, you have discovered the first two uses for will and going to. Their respective uses are this. Now, first, based on the given sentences earlier, with will being used for something that is not yet as certain, or something that will happen not just yet, and going to being used for something that is somehow certain that will happen right away, immediately, will happen soon. Can you answer the sentences? All right, let's see. How about the first sentence? Lyra, please read the first sentence.
I blank read that book.
Now, there are no words that denote somehow something that will happen in the far future. It means that it will happen soon or that it is something that is already set and definite. What do you think is the proper word to use for this one? For definites.
Based on what we've discussed, sir, I think the appropriate words to fill in there is I am going to read that book.
Very good, Lyra. Thank you. I am going to read that book. Since the sentence denotes something that is quite certain, quite definite, something that is already set in stone. Meanwhile, for the second one, Daniel, please read the sentence.
I blank finish writing
The
the novel soon.
soon. We have the word soon. It means it's quite certain. What do you think is the right word to use for this one?
I am going to finish writing the novel soon.
Very good, Daniel. I am going to finish writing the novel soon. You got it. You really got that one. Meanwhile, Lyra, how about for the third sentence?
I blank get a job someday. The answer is I will get a job someday.
Very good. You didn't need any clues. Someday, similar to the earlier example, is somehow dreaming of sorts. So for the next one, Daniel,
I blank be home eventually. I will be home eventually.
very good. You're also starting to get it already. Eventually denotes something that is still to happen, something that you can dream of, per se. And for the last one, Lyra,
I blank clean up quickly. I'm going to clean up quickly.
all right, very good. You're also correct. I am going to clean up quickly. Now, the adverb quickly somehow shows that the action of cleaning up is something that has already been decided upon by the subject. So, I am going to clean up quickly. So, you've got the correct answers for these sentences. Let's see what their uses are. Using will and going to. Will is used when we are dreaming of something. Now, similar to our example earlier, will is used for dreaming. See, I will be a teacher someday, like our earlier example. And also the picture shows dreaming. So, remember this, when you dream of something happening, you use the words will. Alright? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
That
sir.
means the answers earlier for words like someday and eventually are correct. Very good. You are both correct when answering those questions. Now, if will is used for dreaming of something, something that is not yet set in stone, then we have the use for going to. Now, going to is used when we are making definite definite plans. Definite meaning sure. I am going to be a teacher for sure. or somehow words that denote quick action, meaning that you are already decided on doing that action. Like in earlier sentences, like quickly, I am going to clean up quickly, or I am going to read that book, I am going to finish writing that novel soon. You are already decided upon doing that action, so you use going to. Remember, going to is used for making definite plans. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you for your responses. Now, that only means that your answers are all correct. Let's have the next one. Here are two more sentences. Please read both of them. Daniel, can you read the sentences?
Yes, sir. I will be in Manila next month, and I am going to be in Manila this afternoon.
Thank you very much for reading that one. Now, Lyra, what do you notice between the words used in the sentences?
I think, sir, in the first sentence, it somehow, how should I say this? It
It
means
used the word,
something that is far from what is present time or plan
yes,
that is far from today.
next month, right? How about the second one? This afternoon. What do you think about it?
There is some sense of immediacy. It's more near. Should I say?
All right, thank you for your answers. Lyra is correct. Now, for the first sentence, we use next month, meaning something that is far from happening yet. And the second sentence, we use this afternoon, something that will happen soon. Now, remember those two differences. Now, since you've got some idea about the difference between the two, let's have this. Based on the two sentences given earlier, what do you think will be the answers to each of these sentences? Daniel, can you read the first one?
I blank buy that car in a few years.
What do you think is the answer?
I will buy that car in a few years.
Very good. Why did you answer will?
Because the action is in the far future.
Indeed. Very good. A few years denote something that will happen in the far future. So I will buy that car in a few years. How about the second one, Lyra?
She blank perform her recital tonight. She's going to perform her recital tonight.
And why did you say, and why did you use going to for the sentence? Lyra?
Tonight pertains to something that is immediate.
Yes, something that will happen soon. She is going to perform her recital tonight. The third one, Daniel.
They blank they blank leave in 2 hours. They are going to leave in 2 hours.
Very good. You're already getting it as well. 2 hours is something that will happen soon. There will be a sense of immediacy, so the words going to are used. For the fourth one, Lyra.
We blank return here next month. We will return here next month.
Very good. Next month also shows something that is not yet near in terms of its happening. And for the last one, Daniel.
Doc blank retires soon. Doc is going to retire soon.
Yes, very good. You're correct.
Okay.
Soon. The word soon denotes something that will happen soon. So Doc is going to retire soon. Now that now that you seem to get it already, let's see. Based on the answers earlier, you got it right. Will is used when we talk about something in the far future. I will be in Manila next month. With next month denoting something that is not yet near in terms of happening. So, will. Like the first sentence, I will buy that car in a few years. So Daniel's answer is correct. And also, there is also the answers for going to. Now, going to is used when we talk of something happening soon. Ah, the example has been repeated, that should be I am going to be a teacher someday. So, going to, like in Lara's answer for the second sentence, she is going to have a recital tonight. Tonight denotes something that will happen soon, so she used the words going to. So, both of you are correct with your answers. Let's have another set of sentences. Now, look at these two sentences. Lyra, can you please read these sentences?
I will return. I swear. I'm going to return, hopefully.
Now, what do you notice between the two tones of these sentences? The first one said, I swear. Meanwhile, the second one used hopefully. Do you think the first one is making a promise or something? Lyra, are you still there?
Sorry, sir.
Does the first sentence using the words I swear denote a promise? Do you think it does?
Ah, yes, sir. I think the first sentence is more certain.
Here's a promise. Meanwhile, the second one is a more of an expecting tone, don't you think? Something that is only being
Yes, sir.
expected. Do you think that's right? Alright, thank you, Lyra. So, as Lyra said, the first one is somehow more certain, but then it has an air of making a promise, and while the second one shows something that is somehow hopeful or expectant in tone. When we expect or predict something. Now, based on these given structures, can you answer this one? The first one, Lyra, can you read the first one?
I promise I blank be at your birthday. I promise I will be at your birthday.
Now, what made you say it as well?
Just like the example, sir, earlier, it's more certain because there's a word promise. That's why I chose the word will.
Alright, very good. Daniel, how about the second one?
We will win the league. We will win the league.
Alright, that can be. But for example, if I say we we will win the league, does that sound like that sounds like a promise, right? Now, how about if we somehow predict that we are going to win the league? We use
We are going to win.
that's right. For the third one, Lyra.
They blank be here, I swear. They will be here, I swear. It's the same with the first one, first sentence, sir.
All
So
right,
it's also
very
will.
good. Daniel, the fourth one.
It blank rain this afternoon. It is going to rain this afternoon.
Very good. It is going to rain this afternoon. A prediction. How about the fifth one, Lyra?
How do you pronounce that word, sir? I wager? Wager?
Wager, wager.
Alright. I wager that they blank lose the game. I wager that they are going to lose the game.
Very good. Wager is betting on something happening. So let's see how correct you are. Will is
Alright,
used when we
sir.
make
Thank you.
promises. I will return, I swear. Now, based on the sentences earlier, I promise or I swear, when those words are used, we use will, because will is used when we make promises. For going to, we use it when we predict or expect something. Now, Daniel said we will win the league for the second sentence. It is correct in a sense, but if we are talking about predicting that someone is going to win the league, we are going to win the league. So we use going to. But then they are both correct. They are somehow similar in meaning, like I have said earlier, but there are subtle differences that we need to figure out to sift through the differences between the two. So remember, will for making promises, and going to for predicting something. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's have a
Yes,
recap.
sir.
First, will is used when we dream. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Will is used when we dream. And going to is used when something is already definite or certain. Will is for dreaming, while going to is for definite plans. For the second set, we had will being used for something in the far future. And going to is something for something that will happen soon, something that will be immediate. Remember that. When do we use will again? The for what time?
Far future, sir.
Far future.
Very good. And going to is for something that will happen
Soon.
very good. Far future will soon going to. And for the third set, we have will being used for promises and going to for predictions. Did you all get that?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes,
let's see.
sir.
Let us practice using this. I see that you already understand their uses, so here we are. What sentence will you use when you're dreaming of becoming a professional actor? Daniel, what do you think based on what we learned earlier?
I will use will for.
Can you construct a sentence using will in this context?
I will become a professional actor.
Very good. We use will when dreaming. That's right. So your use of will is correct. And the sentence is correct as well on this context. How about this second one? Lyra, what sentence will you use when you definitely want to watch that movie?
So for definite plans, I'm going to use going to. So the sentence is, I'm going to watch that movie.
Very good. Going to is used for something that is definite. Indeed, you are correct. You are precise. And for the next one, what sentence will you use when you promise your attendance at your friend's wedding, Daniel?
I will use will again po. I will attend at your friend's wedding.
Very good. Will is used for making promises. So here's the next one. Lyra, what sentence will you use when you expect that rain is coming? Lyra?
Going to, sir.
And can you construct a sentence
I
using this
think,
one?
all right, sir. I think it is going to rain.
Very good.
I think there is a rain coming, sir.
It is going to rain. That's right. So that's it. I see that you already understand the differences between will and going to. Again, remember, will is used for dreaming, for something in the far future, and for promises. And going to is used for
Definite plans.
definite plans,
Soon.
something that will happen soon, and the last one is for
Predictions.
predictions. Very good. You already understand the lesson, and I see that you also know how to use these words already in sentences. So, very good, everyone. Great job, and thank you for being great listeners and great participants in our discussion. Thank you.
Thank you po, sir.
All right, thank you, everyone.